We're here, bro. What's
Hey,
up, Nico? El Pulpo.
very good. El pulpo de tenis. I'm
Hey,
here. And you, how are you?
where does that nickname come from, the El Pulpo? Who came up with it first time?
So some French guys begin to name me like this because it was the first very good player in French. He was a very tall guy with specific arm like me, very long. He was the pulpo of the French team, and he stopped his career. And now I'm the new one.
You're
So
the
some
new
French
Pulpo.
guy, the new pulpo of French, and now they speak like this in like honor of this guy, and I'm very happy because he was the first guy on first French guy on top 10. So I'm very proud of this name.
How tall are you, man? Now that you say that.
190 normally. Some doctors say me more, some doctors say me less,
Okay.
but I
I
190.
I
But
thought maybe you were a bit taller.
yes, it's the feelings like a lot of people have because I have very, I think, long arm.
Yeah.
So, and you have the feeling when I am on the court or when we are close to me, I am taller than I am, but I'm not so tall, and I'm very fine
Yeah,
and tall. So it's just a feeling.
cause like when I see your matches, man, it looks like your reach is like super wide, right? But I myself, I'm 188. My best friend's 190, so that means playing against him, it's supposed to be a similar height than yours then.
Yes, and after you have the taller, but you have some guy close to 2 meter. Than Baran and Nikita. The teams, I think they are 96, 97,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know. And when you
And
play
both have
against
the
the both
forehand in
team,
the middle.
yeah, and you have a both, yes, forehand, and when you play against them, you have the feelings that you have two T10 of against you, and you cannot make lob, and you cannot make short. It's incredible the feeling when you have two tall guys against you.
See, man, I can imagine. I can imagine. Nico, first official question I actually have for you is what is your story before the Nico Gianotti we know in beach tennis right now with your ranking? What is your story going a few years back before beach tennis?
Sure, it's a long story, but we will try it. I will try to cut it. No, but I began to play very young tennis. I began at five years old, and I play to 17, 18 years old, and I stopped to play tennis because I was with a lot of problem of knee, of my left knee.
Yeah.
It was very difficult for me to play until now. I cannot make running, for example. If I run 20 minutes, I cannot walk. And I discovered I was on an island, so on the Guadalupe. It's a Caribbean island, French island,
Yeah.
and I was on the beach all my life, and I discovered the beach tennis on the beach, and I begin to play, and I saw that I don't have pain when I play beach tennis because I have a lot of pain when I have vibration of my knee, like running, like tennis when it's very hard, and the beach tennis is very the sand is soft normally.
Yeah, but like you just
Uh,
said if you go running like on the street for 20 minutes, you can feel your knee, like it hurts.
Yeah, I cannot work during 1 or 2 days after running of 20 minutes.
Wow.
I
Okay.
I have I have I have big problem, and my doctor say to me I need to make a surgery. But if I can don't make a surgery, it's better because after I will have less mobility. And for play beach tennis, I don't have problem. So it's good for me. So I begin like this just for that. I stopped to play tennis for that, and I begin to play beach tennis for fun with my friend because it was one of the only sport when I can do. And I still play until now. And now I'm the third on the ranking mondial of beach tennis, and I'm very happy and proud of the beginning of my career.
Where are you from, man?
I was born on Martinique. It's a close island to Guadeloupe, and I live all my life, doing 20 years in Guadeloupe. Very close to from Aruba, very close from Puerto Rico. It's like 30 minutes by airplane from Puerto Rico, so it's very close. And I go to live in Bordeaux in French and in Réunion Island during 2 years. And now I live in Brazil because it's the spot for beach tennis now.
And when did you decide that you wanted to try and make a professional career from beach tennis?
I think it's 2018. I was on the university. I was on second year of the university of to begin to be coach of sports or professor or teacher of sports on school. It was my project at the 2019, and I decided to go to the big university in Bordeaux. It's a very big city in France, and with a lot of it's a sports city. When I decided to go to Bordeaux because it was because they have an academy of beach tennis with Jérôme Maillot. It's the head coach of French team now. And I remember on this academy it was Guéganot, Eric Garay. It was two guys. It was on top 15 on 2018
Yeah.
of the Mondial ranking. They just before then I decided there was European champion. So it was incredible for French team. And I decided to go to join this team to train and to try to make something beach tennis. And after six, when I decided to go, I was 180, maybe 200 on the ranking. But in beach tennis, it's nothing because it's impossible to live with beach tennis when you are 200. You are not on the draw. You lose too much money, so it's impossible to think about that.
Yeah.
And after 6 months of tournament and training, I was on the top 30 of the one with school and this, and I say, okay, maybe I can make something good. I decide in 2019, 2020, I don't remember to play with Gigano. Mathieu
Yeah.
Gigano, he was on top 15 at this on this moment. And after 2 months of competition, the COVID arrived and stopped my progression. I was on top 20 at this moment. And after the COVID, I began to have very good results to win a lot of tournaments. And I said, I was on the top 15 and I said, okay, now I will focus all my life on beach tennis. I think when I decided very literally to focus to be professional, I think it was just after COVID 2021.
But does
I
that mean
decided to.
during COVID you trained that whole time? You just kept training? It's
No,
like,
I think during the COVID, I was with the mindset of stop beach tennis,
okay. Damn.
and to continue my university and to become to be teacher of beach tennis. I was teacher on beach tennis just after the COVID on Wayne Island.
Okay. Yeah.
And I saw with my boss on the academy on the club, and he said to me, "Ah, you can try to make some tournaments, and after you come back." And I make some tournaments, and I won some tournaments. And after I said, "Oh, sorry, boss, I need to stop to be teacher. I need to go to try to be professional player." And he said to me, "Okay, I understand." And I begin like this to try to be professional because for me it was just a game of fun for me to play beach tennis at the beginning.
Damn, man. So because of COVID, we almost had no pulpo, right? Almost.
Yes, exactly, almost.
That's crazy, man. So up until now, right? Right
Sometimes.
now you play with Spoto. I think the previous tournament you play with Irigaray, right? But
Yes,
up until
just
now,
after the COVID,
which
yes.
which teammates that you have up until now, like different teammates?
I begin doing all my career, you want to say?
No, let's say like after,
After
from
COVID.
the point you were in top 20. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but just after COVID, I decided to play with Irigaray, with
Yeah.
Theo Irigaray. It was on top 10 at this moment, I think. When he asked to me when I was 20 and he asked to me to play 3 or 4 tournaments. And just after Irigaray, we decided to separate the team because Irigaray was with the idea to test with some top player. He was have the opportunity to play with Calbucci. It was number one on the ranking at the moment when he decided to try with him.
Yeah.
And me, I asked to Spoto on October 2021, I think. And until this moment, I play with him.
And a
So
friend of mine here asked me, so I want to ask you a question on his behalf. Beach tennis is like of course, it's like a booming sport right now. It's growing very fast in Brazil, right? But if you compare
Yeah.
like beach tennis with football, let's say in football, you have a lot more competition to make it professional,
Uh-huh.
but still, not to discredit any work that you have to put in to become like a professional beach tennis player. But if you have to try and make it understandable for someone, how much work, practice, talent you had to put to be where you are today, how would you say in the sport of beach tennis?
It's interesting question because in beach tennis, a lot of people say it's easy to go on the top compared to another sport. For example, for compared to tennis,
Okay,
some
yeah,
guys and they need to begin because it's a similar sport. It's a racket sport. So I know this sport. So I know a lot of people than on the world of tennis. And they
yeah,
say it's easier to go on the top. For sure, it's easier to go on the top of beach tennis than on tennis because you don't have the story of tennis. You don't have the quality of training. You don't have the quality of of the draw of the tournament, and it's a little bit easier. Some guys from tennis come to beach tennis, and after 1 year they enter on top 30 or top 20. But the problem is with beach tennis, it's easier to go on the top, but to live with beach tennis, it's very difficult because I think if you are out of top 15 or top 20, you cannot live with beach tennis.
oh
So
wow, okay,
you have an opposite world, and it's a little bit easier than the other sport because it's a small sport. It's easier to go on the top.
yeah,
So with less quality than in tennis, in football, less physical quality, I want to say, for example, you can
yeah,
reach to the top, but you need to think if you are not on the top 20, you can live. You cannot live with money, you cannot live with the ranking. You can try. A lot of people out of top 20 need to work. A lot of players and 30, because for example, the guy against who I played on the final of the BT 400
yeah, the
the
two
2 days ago.
Brazilians, yeah, yeah,
Yes, Hugo Russo, it's one of my very good friend on beach tennis, and I know he teach 3 days a week, for example. He teach I think 15 hours for a week, and you need to work to live with beach tennis because now it's very difficult. So
I get it,
so
I
it's
get it,
we have this both side of of sports. For sure, it's not the level than it's for me a sport. The quality of the sport it depends on the time than you play. The tennis begin 200 years ago, 100 years ago, I would to say, and beach tennis begin 30 years ago, and out and in Italy and in Brazil maybe 15 years ago, and in France 10 years ago. So for sure we don't have the experience than maybe in 50 years. In 30 years we will have a higher quality of level of beach tennis for sure. But for the moment we are small port. It's difficult to live with this.
yeah, yeah. And what you say, I think it also makes sense because if you're outside of the top 20, you can't put in all the time that you need because you still have to work, right, to maintain yourself. So
Exactly. So you don't have the time to train, the time to rest, the time to have a good preparation physically, mentally preparation. You cannot pay a team with a good coach. A lot of players in beach tennis don't have coach. For example, I know in beach tennis in the tour, I think you have two or three coach than they follow the players.
okay,
So it's very weird to see one coach with one player. Like in tennis, sometimes you have one coach, one player.
yeah,
And here, and sometimes, for example, my coach have like 6 or 7 men and 3 girls. So you have 10 players because for us it's impossible to pay good the trainer, and so and the coach don't have cannot take only one player because he don't have the money enough to live,
of
so he
course.
need to have a 10 players, for example. So it's very difficult to have a very good quality if we don't have money on the sport. It's like this.
Now, at what point would you say, let's use me as an example right now, okay? So
Hmm.
I live in Brazil. I feel like I have a lot of talent in beach tennis. I start playing big tournaments. I start making it far. Let's say quarterfinals, semifinals. Maybe I win not a BT 400, but let's say one of the other ones, like a smaller one. At what point would you say, "Hey, Mauro, look into getting a coach, getting a manager," or because before that, obviously, all the tournaments that I travel and play is coming out of my own pocket. right? So at what
Hmm.
point would you say like a talented upcoming player should look to get a manager, invest in a coach, etc.?
It's difficult, but what I said before, if you are out of top 15, it's very difficult to leave. So it's very quasi impossible to pay a coach.
Okay.
So
Unless
I
it
think if
comes
you
like
are,
from your other job, right? Maybe you paid from your other
yes,
job and you invest in a coach to
m-
try and make it to the
m-
top 15.
maybe you can, and some people do that for sure. They have a lot of people out of top 15 have coach, but they cannot make the time, the all the important of than they can on the training. It's impossible. And in
Yeah.
now in beach tennis, you can reach the top. I don't want to say easier than the other sport, but now if you begin beach tennis now, if you want to play tournaments, you cannot. If you want to play BT 400, you cannot. If you don't have the ranking, you cannot enter on the qualify because now the level of the ranking of qualify is very higher than before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you don't have the ranking, you cannot enter on the draw, on the qualify, and you cannot play. So now, if you want to begin a career of beach tennis, you need to go to play BT10 to win BT10, after to go to play BT50, and you need to win BT50 to maybe have the ranking to enter on the quali, and after you need to pass the quali, and after you can have the draw, and when you have the draw, maybe you play the top seed one, Capelete Ramos in the first one, and you lose. It's long way, but when you arrive, I think if you are top 10, you can think about top 15. You can think about to have coach to pay all the things for sure.
I hear you. Nico, another question. How important would you say physical attributes like height, weight, muscle mass plays in a player's chance to become pro? Like, does it make a big difference? Height, weight, muscle mass?
I think it's like a lot of sports. Like for example, in basketball,
Yeah.
if your size it's 2 meter and 10, you have more chances than to reach to the top, for example. And in beach
Yeah.
tennis, it's like this. If you are 2 meter, it's a little bit easier because normally you serve good. So this attribute help a lot. But if we saw when we saw on the top, you don't have only tall guy. I think on the top 15 you have three guys or four guys with more than 190. I think we have Capelletti, Baran, Bjormakin, and me if you count me because it's 190. I'm 190.
And the
So
rest
for
is
sure
what,
the
below
tall.
190?
What? Sorry.
So besides the four of you, the rest is below 190, right? The rest of
Yeah.
the top
Yes.
15.
Yes. For sure because I'm the taller one out of these three guys, and I'm 190. So it's for sure this help. After you have another qualities and help of beach tennis, you have the explosivity. A lot like Elegaray, when you saw Elegaray play beach tennis, he have a very good explosivity. He can jump. He is very fast. For sure, he help. But you will saw a lot of guys without quality to reach to the top two because we have a small court. It's only a meter. So if we calculate, we play only because we don't play 1 or 2 meter of the net, and it's very weird to play on the last meter. So I want to say we play on 5, 6 meter on the game, and 6 meter with 1 or 2 steps you can reach. So you
Yeah.
with good hand and with good eye because it's a very small court. You can take a lot of ball, and if you serve good and return good, you don't need an incredible physical quality because me, I have a shitty physical quality. I'm just tall. That's it. And tall, 190.
You
If
don't
you
you
ask
don't
to
rate
a
your
basketball
physical
player, I'm very,
either?
I'm not tall.
Wait one
I'm
second.
the, I,
Container connection. Can you hear me
yeah,
now, bro? Okay, cool.
yes. When you lose me,
You said you have a shitty physical quality, and then you
yeah,
disappeared.
okay. I have a shitty quality. I'm just tall, and that's it. So sometimes, just if you have a good eye and good mobility and good reflex, you can make a lot of good things in beach tennis. If you have a good talent, you can reach the top. If you look in tennis, or sometimes in beach tennis, in other sports. In football, you don't have only guys with incredible physical
Of course,
quality.
of course,
You
of
have
course.
sometimes the talent help, but if you are tall, for sure it's easier because if you serve good on beach tennis, you make half of the job.
Nice, great point, man. Another question I have for you that I think is very interesting: how impactful or how important, how much effect does a racket make in your game? Like, do you think it makes a very big difference? Like a huge difference?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Uh, the
Because
the
like in
racket,
football, sorry, like a good shoe, a good boot always helps. But like these Brazilians can play barefoot also, But in beach
yeah,
tennis, I think the racket makes a big difference.
for sure. The quality of the racket will help for sure because if the ball go faster, the control is easier. For sure, you will help because it's a sport very, very fast. So you don't have time sometimes to control your movement, and you need sometimes than the racket and you alone. Sometimes the racket work for you, but it's the principal things. It's you need to have a racket with adapt to your quality.
Okay.
It depends what you like, but if you have a potential racket with a lot of explosivity, for sure you will serve stronger. You need to know about the racket with the balance of the racket. If normally if you are more in defense or control, you have a lower balance on the racket.
Yeah.
It's say things I said, but it's general things. It's not the same for everybody, but it's general things. More the balance is higher, more it's easier to have the head of the racket do that, so it's easier to
Yeah.
serve and smash. So the racket help you with the qualities that you have and then you use with beach tennis. Because in beach tennis, if you serve good or if you return good, you make around 80 or 90% of the job. So for me, I was with a racket with my old sponsor, incredible for my quality. And I was very afraid to change with my new brand because now I'm with Nox. When I
Yeah.
test and when I decide to sign with Nox, I was very afraid that as they don't arrive to make a racket good for me. And after 3 or 4 months of work together to create a perfect racket for me, we reached to arrive to a perfect racket for me. And I try always to have the perfect condition for with my racket. And I change a racket just before this tournament. I tried the new racket maybe half an hour before the first round. And directly I like it because I try to take the perfect racket for me. And now I think I have the perfect racket for my quality. And if you have the good racket for you, not all rackets it's for you. You can have a very good quality racket, but if it's not good for your quality of game or type of game, sometimes it's not good. And but you have a lot of brands to find the perfect one, so it's not a problem.
The racket that you just told me that you played with it like 30 minutes before, right? Is
Yes.
that is that like the first one, like the NG17 that came out, or is there like a new version from that? Do you know what I mean?
No,
Like, did they change it again?
yeah, no, because I was with the prototype of the racket
Yeah.
because I was playing with the racket before the launch of the sale of the racket,
Yeah.
and they continue to create a perfect racket. And when they launch, I received the racket a little bit late because I was afraid to change, but I decided to
Ah, okay,
change.
okay.
I decided to change just before this tournament, and now I'm very happy that the work that make Nox to create a perfect racket for me, and I hope that a lot of people will like.
So like the racket, say if I buy your Nox racket tomorrow, is it the same one that you use or is yours different?
It's the same than I use.
Nice.
The only difference is I make
Yeah,
a
the weight will
treatment.
change, right?
Yes, no, I make a treatment on my racket, one
Okay,
of
with a
one
glipper?
post in Brazil. No, it's not with Glipper. It was with Megaspin in Brazil, in Joinville.
Okay.
It's a specific city. So the only difference that you will have on the racket, it's this treatment. And for sure, the treatment will change a little bit the balance and the height. But it's the only difference. If we put out the treatment of Megaspin down on the racket, we have the same. It's what I like. I like to play. I like to play with the rackets, and everybody can buy because I want to say if you want to try, I can pass you my racket and you can buy.
Of course. Okay, now I have two questions about your racket because you got me excited, man. Like I always
Yeah.
like to go like into details of the rackets. Look, number one, if you were recommending someone right now to get a racket that adapts to their game, right? Do you
hmm
normally look for opposites or something that complements? So if I'm a defensive player, would you say get an attacking racket so your game is more balanced, or would you say get a defensive racket that fits exactly the defensive play?
You have two things to think about it because you have two type of coach, for example, of mindset. Or you train your quality and you go all with your quality and you forget a
Yeah,
little bit your bad points, or
yeah,
you try always to work your bad point
like
to be
balance, right?
stable. Yes, and it's exactly what with your racket. Or you go all with your quality, and if you have very good defense, you to take a very good racket, and every defense go out of your racket, but it's or you will try to have a racket that complete. It's a mindset. We cannot say, I cannot say you need to have this type of racket for you on this type. It's a mindset that you have or the feelings that you have when you have the racket on the hand. It's impossible to answer to a guy. It's what you think on your mind. If you want to play with all your quality or you want to stay to be a little bit complete and try. Me, I have the feeling that I try to go with more with my quality because I think it's my quality that make the player than I am and make for me I think my quality is to serve and smash, and if I lose my serve and my smash but if I defend better, never I will arrive to the point of the quality of defense of Spoto or of Anthony Ramos. I
Okay.
think it's impossible for me to arrive to this level of defense. So I try to put than I can with my quality to impose my style of game. So it's what I think me, but it's just a mindset of the people. It's a
So
decision of
then,
the guy.
so what you said, you would describe your two best qualities as your service and smash?
Normally, my quality, it's why I win a lot of points and a lot of game. It's for that. Yes.
Nice, man. And then who would you say? So you just said for you, two players that have really good defense is Poto and Anthony then?
Yes, for sure they are. I think they are the two best guy on this quality, and they are perfect to play on right. And me with my quality, I think I'm perfect to play on left, like Capelletti. It's why I think we are the team number one and two on the world because we are very good
Similar, right?
adapt. Yes, similar and adaptation. We are two tall guys on the left that make a lot of difference up of the head, and you have the guy on the right and he can save some points, save some situation with a good defense, with a good balls, and they come back on the good position after, then I make a good match. It's the thing it's important to understand. If Spoto make the best games than he can, the people will see me play good.
Yeah, yeah.
If he play incredible, he will put the ball perfect than
For you to
after I
achieve, yeah.
can for me, and it's
Exactly.
why sometimes we have the feeling that Capelletti or me or Baran Nikita we are better or we make a lot of difference because sometimes we have a good guy on our side and without them we cannot win and we can make difference.
Yeah, yeah, I
Some
get you.
he is the good partner on right, if he play incredible, the guy on left will play. You have the feeling that the guy on left play good. It's why it's
I get you.
incredible, and
So for
it's
you,
bad it's bad for the guy.
yeah, yeah, I get it. For you to shine, like he has to set up the game for you, and then you get like the moment of glory almost, right? Like the smashes, everything prepared for you.
Exactly. Everybody will see if I make a good match, but nobody, less body, only very guy who know big tennis will understand that the guy on right make a very good match.
Yeah, man. So it's almost like the guy in right plays like a Sergio Busquets or Casemiro role in football. Like they don't appreciate him,
If
but without them, the midfield wouldn't be working. Yeah, in a way.
exactly. Sometimes if you don't see them, it's better.
Exactly.
If
Yeah. When you see the game, you don't really see Busquets, man. But only when you pay attention, you see that everything passes through him. You know.
if he is not here, it's weird, but the team play bad.
So tell
It's
me one thing about your specific racket right now. How is it that you chose 18K? Why is it that you chose like Hard Eva for the Surface? Why is it like why did that work better for you?
I one thing, and it's true, and I cannot lie for that. It's I Knox uh,
Yeah.
make a racket of the last year, and he asked me to decide behind 12K and 80K.
Okay.
And it's why it was I'm afraid, because I play all my life with Kevlar. It's a different
Yeah.
type of racket. I was very afraid to change to 18 and 12K. And I prefer at the beginning the 18K. And I decide with test with Snorks. I test a lot of rackets, and after I test a lot of combination. And at the end, I'm arrived with this combination than now, but it's because they propose to me this material, then I test and I decide to like. It's not me. I asked to play with NTK. They
Yeah.
arrived to me with this specific material, and I tried, and I like him. I like
Nice.
my rocket.
Nice, nice. Because in the in the past months, I think I remember that I messaged you. You gave me some advice on which racket to choose because I had like some issues with my wrist, stuff like that. Man, in the past months, I think my friends keep laughing at me because I think since November up until now, I had to change 4 times, and then when I get yours in 2 weeks, it's gonna be my fifth. But then I'm not gonna change anymore. Just that I kept that I kept really like seriously. The first one I bought was the Nox, the one Anthony used, the blue one.
Uh-huh.
But there I noticed for me it was very heavy. At least for the way I played. Whenever I did a push, like my wrist kept hurting. So I was like, nah, this is too heavy for me. I literally swapped rackets with a guy. I was like, hey, I will trade you my Nox. It's more expensive than yours. Just I think yours is a bit lighter. Let me play with this. It was like
Hmm.
the Ocean Air Bazooka. So I had that one. I had it for like a month, then I didn't like it, so I sold it. I bought the Shark Predator. You told me also that with the balance, maybe it might work for me. It was good. Uh, for my personal taste, very, very light. That carbon is 3K. Uh, Comparing 3K to 12K, I don't like 3K that much. I feel that it's good like when attacking, good when defending, but sometimes since it's very light and I try to do a drop shot, I lose power and I can't really handle it.
Hmm.
So right now, 12K is working perfectly, but when I try yours, here in Aruba, it's arriving in 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
We were going to get the first order, but Knox told the official store here at Mario Sports Shop that almost all the orders went to Brazil, so we have to wait. We didn't get any rackets yet. And then we're getting yours, if I'm not mistaken, in 2 3 weeks. But that is going to be the first time ever that I try 18K. I never tried it before,
Uh-huh.
so
Me
it's
too,
going to
it
be the
was the first
first
time.
ever. So what was the difference for you between like 18K and Kevlar? 18K is what much more power when you surf.
No, in me, I have a big problem. I'm very difficult with that because I don't know nothing about the specific material. Me,
Okay,
if
got you.
I, me, if you give me five rackets with five types different of material, it's impossible for me to recognize it's an 18K, it's a 12K, it's a 3K, it's
Okay, okay,
Kevlar. I
got you.
don't know nothing. I have a racket in my hand. If I love, I say, okay, I will play with him, with this, just this. I'm very bad for this. I know it's a very big problem for me because I'm very difficult to decide a racket. With my sponsor, when he asked to me, I said, I don't know what I want. Try it for me, and we will see. I discovered the beach tennis with one racket. I tried and I test and I play. Just me, if I have good sensation, I'm very bad for that. So I don't know the good the big difference about them. I hear my coach. My coach said to me, "It's different like this. You will play better with this." I say, "Okay, I trust you," and I play. And my coach said to me 1 hour before the tournament. if you play with this one, you will win the tournament. I said, it's difficult to change just before the tournament, but okay, I trust you. I changed the racket and I won the
What the
tournament.
fuck?
So it's incredible. My coach know better the racket than nobody. It's incredible.
Damn, man. That sounds risky. Did you like doubt him whenever he said that? Because like again, a lot of rackets you have to like adapt, right? The instinctual touch that comes out isn't the same that goes with the racket. That's crazy, man. The fact that you
Yeah,
just
but me,
changed right before a tournament and you won.
yeah, but me, I'm a player. I'm a player with sensation. I don't care if the numero on the racket. If I have good sensation, I play. If I don't, if I
Nice.
have bad sensation, I don't like. Just like this, I don't care if you give me if this price is good material. Just this. I just know that my racket knocks. It's a very high quality because of the fabric, where they make they create the racket. Well, it's a very good quality. So normally, when you buy the problem with the racket or a lot of brand, and you buy 10 rackets and you have sometimes 10 different rackets
Yeah.
with the same racket, but it's not the same racket. And with Nox, I like because it's very, very similar. It's quasi impossible to have exactly the same every time. But it's the maximum that I think you can have on the tour, on the brand. The less difference of the racket, I think it's not the best quality for that, and it's why I decide to play with them too.
Nice, man. Can I ask you two more quick questions and then we can finish off the
For
interview?
for sure, it's not a problem.
Question number one, man. Now that you're top athlete, being ranked number three in the world, uh, how would you suggest that you deal with the pressure when you're on the court, especially when you make it to final, or like let's say it's been a tournament or two that you lost in the final, so you have a bit more added pressure in the next one, right? How do you deal with that pressure?
It's difficult to answer because if you count all the finals I had make the last year,
Yeah.
I think I make 15, maybe 18 finals, and I lose. I think on 15 finals, I think I lose 11 final. So I'm not the good guy to speak about the pressure on final because if you count, I if and you say, okay, this guy don't is not good with the pressure on final. I don't know if it's like this or some. I think me, I have the feeling that if I lose, it's because I play against the best team in final
Yeah.
normally. It's
Yeah.
just for that because I played every time, almost every time against Capelletti Ramos or Baran Nikita. They are the two best team on the world. So if I lose against them, I can understand why I lose against them. So, but now I am different. Me, I am now I prefer the situation than I'm the favorite on the court because a lot of game I win just because I'm the favorite on the court.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys against us, they are outsider and they think, oh, we need to play incredible to beat them. And sometimes they try a lot of things and they make a lot of mistake or
Mistakes.
shit during the
Yeah.
game. And sometimes I won the match without play because the opponent thinks they need to make something incredible to win. But it's not true. If they play their game, they can make something. So sometimes just with my position, then I'm seed number two, and Capelletti Ramos, I think, if you ask them, is the same. A lot of game, they win just because the name of them, because the people think they need to things, they need to do some things more than normally, and they make a lot of more mistakes than normally. So I like to be on this position on the court to be the favorite, and if I'm in final, I'm already happy to play the final. I'm very happy when you ask to me before the final. Oh, I'm very happy to play the final. If I lose, it's okay. I'm the worst. I'm the second team on the world at this moment, so it's okay. And it's why maybe I lose some final because I don't want maybe too much to win because I'm always happy. It's maybe the problem. I need to try to find the good things. I need to be competitive, but with a smile because me, I love to play with a smile to enjoy the game. And so I lose a lot of pressure with that because I love to play to smile. And so it's my good points.
I like it, man. To tell you, look, I'm gonna be honest with you right now. I didn't want to like lie to you, tell you that I've been following your game since COVID, whatever, etc. Right? The first
Hmm.
time that I saw you play, I've heard your name for more than 1 year now, of course, because I do follow the rankings, I follow matches, but like not
Uh-huh.
that when I used to watch matches back then, I used to pay attention to who is Nico Gianotti and then like watch all your games.
Uh-huh.
But it was when you came to Aruba in November that I started
Okay.
watching your early games, you and Spoto, like the early matches. Then I saw, almost all your matches up until the final that we were there to like 3 a.m. because it was like one of the longest finals ever. Uh,
Yeah.
but I remember clearly. I think it was one of those days. If you remember what the layout used to look like at the Aruba Open, behind center court, you had like two, three courts where you used to practice during the day, right?
Yeah.
And then it was at one of those courts that I was playing with my friends, and then I think two times we hit like a ball far out, and you were the one next to the court that was like grabbing the ball for us, tossing it back, and I was like, hey, this guy's pretty nice. And then 30 minutes later, I see you on center court, and I'm like, yo, shit, that's Nico Gianotti. I
I,
didn't
I,
even
I don't
recognize you
remember, but
before that.
maybe it's true. I don't remember.
No, 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 it's definitely true. But I mean, it's in November that I actually once I saw you play and really saw your style of play, but especially it's what you said, just the energy that you bring to the court, right? It's easy when you're top three, top five in the world at anything for that to go to your head. Your ego inflates a little bit, and it gets to you. But it's nice to see people still staying with like the positive, genuine energy, whatever they do.
For me, the sport, it's a game, and we need to enjoy. If I lose, sometimes I lose the enjoy of the game, and it's a problem. And sometimes when I lose this, I lose the game. So I try to stay happy, to stay with a smile, and to enjoy the game and enjoy the life, because I know I have a very, very good life and beautiful life now, because I can live with my passion. And now, with my ranking, I can live good with the prize money, with all my sponsor. I have a good position. So I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy. If I lose, I say I have a fucking good life. So I don't care.
Which approach would you suggest someone like me to take to the game? Is it more like be patient and don't try to smash or attack unless you have like the perfect ball for it, or what would your approach be for a good game?
It depends on a lot of things. It depends of your style of game. If you have if your quality is to be aggressive, you need to be aggressive. If your quality need to be stable and put all the ball on the court, you don't need to change your style of game about your opponent or about the court when you play. If you are playing on soccer court, some people change the game because they play against this team. No,
Exactly. Yeah.
J-
Yeah.
yeah. So it's you need to play. You need to try to impose your game. If you see after the first set that your style of game is not good and you lose, maybe you need to change something. But I think I have all the mindset, and I arrive and I try to impose my style of game to my opponent. And I try to I learn a lot about tacticals, and against this guy I need to play here, against this guy I need to play here. With the ball, sometimes we have a fast balls and slow ball, so we need to adapt. Sometimes we need to put more rotation of some ball because they take more rotation, so it's harder to with some ball. My coach say to me to smash harder, and with some ball he say to me sometimes to smash slower with more rotation, and just that the ball go out of the racket. So we have that too. But
Nice.
normally I said if I can play my style of game and impose my tactical to the opponent, it's my ID. I want, and at the end of the match, then they say, "Oh fuck, I need to learn how to play against him because I impose my style." It's my mindset when I enter the court, and I think all players need to arrive with his quality and impose his quality on the court. If it's defense, if it's good hand, if it's you have the best guy on lob, you need to lob a lot of times. If you are the best server, you need to push on serve. I think it's my mentality.
And then the last one is now is officially the last one. I won't ask anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
So, how would you wait? I have it written down. I don't want to say it incorrectly. So look, in I'd say both beach tennis and tennis is a game that if you compare it to other sports, you make many more mistakes than in other sports, right? So in football, maybe you can lose the ball on the field, but it's not like it leads to a lot of goals, right? The games don't finish like 15-12 or something.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with if you're starting bad in a game? Let's say the first few games you lose it because you're just making way too many mistakes in a doubles tournament. How do you mentally recover from that if it's an important game? Because like the more mistakes you make, you just get pissed off at yourself, right? It gets frustrating. How do you get out of that?
It's very difficult to be part of that because, but in beach tennis, me, I try to think always and the mistake be part of the game and which mistake I will do. For example, if on juice I have the feelings I need to serve on one and to make a wrist and not serve on the middle. If I serve one and the ball is out like this, for me, sometimes it's a good mistake because I try something. So
Yep.
I cannot have, because, but sometimes if tactical, I have one idea tactical and I make the mistake opposite of my tactical because sometimes I say to my partner on this point, with the wind, we don't need to lob. And first balls on a touch, I make a mistake on lob. It's a big, big mistake. More than sometimes if I win the point, my partner come to me, I say, you make a shit. If I win the point, I make a mistake because tactically it's not on the good sense of our tactical. So
Yep.
sometimes it's an approach. If I make a mistake but with a good tactical, I'm not very sad. But if I make sometimes a shot inside but with not a good tactical, I'm sad. So we need to accept because on beach tennis we have only one serve and we need to serve strong to win. So if we make mistake on serve, it's not a problem. If we make, but it depends on your style. Me, my style is to make ace. I need to make ace to play good. So if I make mistake because I make ace, I understand. If one guy never won one game because he makes serve, for example, one small guy, he never will win one point with his serve. He cannot do mistake, for example. You know what I mean? He
Yep.
don't have the possibility to do mistake because he already difficult to win. If I make mistake when I smash strong, it's not too bad because it's my quality. I need to push. I understand that, and you have a good mistake and bad mistake. But for example, on the first set on the final of the BT400 2 days ago, I was playing very bad on the first set, and they was playing very good because I was playing. I was make maybe two or three mistake.
Yep.
But two or three mistake, if you make two mistake at juice, you lose two juice. We lose the first set 6-3 because it was two juice. Then they won. If there's two juice we won, it's 5-4 for us, and I serve, and maybe it's 6-4 for us. Pitch tennis, we need to accept the mistake. If it's a good mistake or if a bad mistake, this is a good question you need to have. If you have the good mentality, the good tactic, and the good intention when you're with your quality, and you make mistake, for me, it's not a bad point. But if you make shit tactical and you don't make the ball on the court and it's not with your quality, you need to change something. It's my vision.
Thank you, man. That's great advice that I'm gonna apply to my own game. See if it works.
I hope I try to help you.
Nico, thank you very much for your time, man. I appreciate it. I know I told you 45 minutes max, but we're at 48. So I
Don't
thank you
worry.
for the extra
I'm
30
I'm on
minutes.
time to train. I'm on time to train. I have time. I 30 minutes to go to train, so I'm okay.
Perfect. Well, thanks again, man. And I'm gonna after this now, I want to interview more beach tennis players. So I'm gonna start reaching out to a few more. But I really, really enjoyed it. Definitely.
Perfect. I hope that the guy we will accept because it's very cool.
Definitely, man.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the invitation, and I hope the beach tennis will grow up more and more in Aruba. I'm very happy and I'm very excited to come back in Aruba. I hope they will make an ATF tournament. I hope.
I hope, man.
I'm
I
not
hope you
sure.
actually come back because now that I know much more about you, watch all your games, it's gonna be more exciting to receive you here.
Yeah, it's always better on live than on video.
Definitely.
Thanks a lot.